heart of Lebanon, a new force is rising, a vision to write Lebanon's next chapter, not of crisis, but of creativity and innovation, not of delay, but of digital dynamism. Introducing the Ministry of Technology and Artificial Intelligence, Lebanon's first ever national initiative to drive digital transformation, unleash innovation, and empower its people through the power of technology and AI. Our mission is clear: seamless, smart government services, a thriving digital economy, a talent ecosystem that brings Lebanese minds home and keeps them inspired here. Guided by our LEAP strategy, the ministry will build Lebanon's tech future, fast, agile, and inclusive. And we're not waiting for the future to happen. We're building it now. From the launch of Lebanon's national digital infrastructure and national digital ID, to AI-powered services that cut red tape and elevate everyday life. This is not just a ministry, it's a movement. A promise to every Lebanese citizen that tech will serve you, empower you, and uplift your life. Lebanon will rise and leap, powered by our people, our innovation, and our vision. The Ministry of Technology and AI is here. The future starts here. Lebanon will rise, and Lebanon will leap. Join the transformation.
دولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء الدكتور نواف سلام، ممثل نائب رئيس مجلس الوزراء الحالي دكتور طارق متري، دولة نائب رئيس مجلس الوزراء السابق النائب غسان حصباني، أصحاب المعالي الوزراء الحاليين والسابقين، سفراء الدول الهند، قطر، مصر والإمارات، سعادة النواب، ممثلو القادة الأمنيين، نائبا حاكم مصرف لبنان، ممثلو السفراء لدى لبنان، القناصل، ممثلو الوزراء والنواب، المدراء العامون والمستشارون، رؤساء البلديات والنقابات، الدكتور محمد الكويتي وأعضاء الوفد الإماراتي، رعاة الحفل الرسميون، الضيوف الكرام. Once again, a very warm welcome to Lebanon's Tech, AI, and Innovation Summit 2025. Today, we will be presenting a bold, inclusive, and impact-oriented roadmap for the future of tech and AI in Lebanon. Now, this roadmap has been through a number of consultations, both here in Lebanon, but also internationally with our diaspora. And we are delighted to share it here with you today. So onto our agenda. We have a packed and very exciting day ahead. And our agenda is going to revolve around three key pillars. Our first pillar will look at the regional and global, our first pillar will focus on the strategy and the agenda of the Office of the Minister of State for Tech and AI, which we will refer to as MITAI for short, MITAI. Our second pillar will look at the regional and the global AI trends and the success stories that can both inspire and inform us as we shape our strategy and embark on our journey here in Lebanon. And our third pillar is going to delve into the players, both the Lebanese players and the regional players and their roles. So specifically, how entrepreneurs, investors, and scalers are driving change and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, today is more than just a conference. It is a call and an invitation for all of us to collaborate, to imagine boldly, and to work together to shape the Lebanon that we all want to see in this digital age. So, without further ado, let's jump into our first pillar, which is about the strategy and the agenda of MITAI. This is an ambitious and exciting framework, and it will lay the foundations for the future of tech and AI in Lebanon. For our first presentation today, please join me in welcoming Minister Dr. Kamal Shehadeh for a presentation on Lebanon's digital and AI transformation.
Mina, thank you. أهلا وسهلا فيكم. Good morning. أهلا وسهلا. It is a pleasure to see all of you here. بداية دولة الرئيس أهلا وسهلا. شكرا, Mr. Prime Minister, Deputy President of the Council of Ministers. Thank you for being here. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the work that we have been doing, the roadmap that we've laid out, the achievements that we've worked on, but also the road ahead. Most importantly, this is a journey that we are launching today, and I invite all of you to continue this journey with us. So, I represent today a team that is now called an Office of the Minister of State for Technology and AI. We are a startup ministry in a startup republic in an ancient land and a very young nation. نحن وزارة ناشئة بجمهورية بإداراتها ناشئة بأرض عريقة وبشعب شاب وبيتجدد دائما. أهلا وسهلا. So why am I here? Why was there a decision to have a ministry for technology and AI? It is to be part of a solution to many of the pain points that our citizens experience. If there were no pain points, we wouldn't have a mission, we would have no purpose. We know that there's a lot to do, and we know that not one ministry can do this. This is a group effort. All of us, government, civil society, parliament, all of us have to work together to achieve this progress that we strive for. The pain points, you know them. One, we have substandard public services. You either don't get the service or you get it substandard. We also suffer from having to pay facilitation fees and intermediaries. ورفعنا لهم اسمهم سميناهم سماسرة. They have become part of the social fabric. We suffer from manual and paper-based processes. We also suffer from excessive, redundant approvals. بيروح من إدارة إلى إدارة إلى إدارة تيعمل معاملة مفروض تنعمل ب30 ثانية. But there are bigger problems as well. Problems that affect the whole economy. Especially in the tech industry, we've had limited investment and financing. In 8 or 9 years, when Circular 331 was in effect, the country saw about $500 million go into the tech industry. In the last 5 years, we've seen $5 million go into the tech industry. So we went from 500 to 5 million. That is a state of affairs that cannot continue. Second, we have outdated regulations across the board. With all due respect to the work that's being done in Parliament across the board, our regulations are outdated. They are not fit for the 21st century. They're not fit for a digital economy. Whether you talk about the protection of digital intellectual property or about establishing companies and winding them up, remember, تصفية الشركات كمان جزء من المشكلة. We have to think about it because that is a challenge every young entrepreneur faces. So we have outdated regulations that need to be improved. We also have unreliable power supply. I know we have these solutions on a local scale, but we will never be able to compete in technology and AI with an unreliable power supply. Just a few days ago in Abu Dhabi, the US Minister of Interior used a phrase that I think I'm going to quote often and often. He said that we've always known that knowledge is power. But today, in the age of AI, power is knowledge. And we need to have a reliable power supply. We also have poor broadband connectivity. Lebanon was once a leader in technology and telecommunications. Today, we suffer from years and years of underinvestment. I trust that there's an easy way out of this, and we should get there, but we are still in the 4G, and we also have poor fiber connectivity. We have illegal providers providing substandard services. That is a problem that plagues the whole economy, and it affects the technology sector, the technology industry particularly. Now, how do we address this? This is not something that one ministry can handle. It is a whole of government initiative. This is about lifting up the whole country. This is a whole of government initiative, and it requires a lot of work from the Ministry of Justice. It requires the Ministry of Telecom to implement the vision, the plan that Minister Hajj has put together about raising the broadband connectivity. It requires the Minister of Energy, Joe Saddi, and his plan to be put into effect, more energy. It also requires a lot of effort from everyone, the Minister of Interior, who's leading on the digital ID. It requires the Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Interior to work on cybersecurity. And the list goes on. And it requires, in particular, cooperation and close coordination with the Ministry for Admin Reform, OMSAR. They are in charge of reviewing the processes, streamlining them, making life easier for administration and for the citizen, and working closely with the Ministry of Technology to provide the technology solution that today brings the 21st century to citizens and companies. This is, once again, a whole of government exercise. This is not one single minister and the responsibility. It is all of us together. So what have we done? To understand and find our way forward, what we did is we reviewed not only the work that was done in the past to build on it, but we've also looked closely at successful countries that have transformed and led the way digitally. We have built on the work that was done before, because I strongly believe that government is about continuity. You take the good, you improve on the bad. There's nothing that should go to waste. What we've done is we've learned the lesson that was summarized in the digital transformation strategy that was designed in 2019, 22, it was formalized in 22. It needs updating. It's not today the roadmap that we need, but it is something we have built on. But most importantly, we've learned from the experience of other countries. So based on this, learning the lessons of other countries, the UAE, I was just reminded, established the first Ministry of AI in 2017. Today, there are about 20-some countries with ministers of AI. And the reason they do this is to concentrate the mind, to have one single national agenda that brings all these efforts together and make sure that they're coordinated and well orchestrated. The mandate of the Ministry of Technology and AI, as defined today in the draft law that was approved by the Council of Ministers exactly 2 months ago, is one, to lay out a strategy for the way forward and to work on the regulations and bring all this to the Council of Ministers to make that a national project. It is to develop technology platforms that everyone can use and have access to. It is also to work closely with the Cyber Institute, which will be reporting directly to the Council of Ministers and to the President of the Council of Ministers. It is to define the standards for technology and AI across the board, and also to develop norms for ethical use of artificial intelligence. And we'll announce in a few weeks, we have 5 universities with about 40 researchers focused on workshops solely on the ethics of the use of AI in different industries. The ministry is also to work on an investment and digital economy and to attract investments and make this economy more investor-friendly, and partnerships, of course. And international partnerships. We wouldn't be able to do what we cannot do, what we plan to do without the right partnerships with countries, with corporates, but also with our diaspora, the Lebanese diaspora. And I have to say that when this first version was put together in March 2025, I chose to present it to a group of Lebanese in technology in Silicon Valley, a group called LebNet, which represents 2,500 successful Lebanese in technology. And a group of 100 of them took part in the first presentation of the strategy. And then the consultations proceeded on and on. But we started with them because I strongly believe that part of this, the diaspora has a huge role to play, and our success depends on their involvement. So what are the goals that we've set for ourselves? We put them down on paper and we measure the work that we do with respect to these objectives. One, what we would like and what we aim for, what we're working towards, is for technology and the digital tech to constitute about 10% of the local economy of GDP. This is in line with the United States. It's about 10% in the US. There are countries that have done much better. Singapore is at 24%. We're aiming for 10%, and it's doable, which means $3.5 billion, assuming our GDP will be about 35 billion. I think it's going to be much higher than that, the GDP, that is, because we just got revised numbers. But I'm not going to keep track of that. But our objective, what we keep track of, is how do we create enough investments, enough jobs, so that the tech industry represents 10% of GDP. The other objective is to see the artificial intelligence workforce double. Today, we graduate 3,500 young men and women in technology from universities. This number should triple. The objective is to get to about 10,000 a year. That's how we fully embrace the digital age. This will lead to a rise in labor productivity and in total factor productivity, which will lift the whole economy. It's also our objective to see Lebanon rise in the global rankings. Every time I read a report on artificial intelligence or digital technology, I have pain in my stomach because I see how badly we rank, and I know we can do much better. It's my ambition to do better. It's all of our ambition to see that happen. Lebanon today ranks 82 in the Governance and Artificial Intelligence Index. Our aim is to be in the top 20 by 2030. It's also our objective to reach a point where within 5 years, between now and 2030, we raise $500 million for the technology industry, $500 million to be invested in the tech industry. I think that is a doable objective. And today, I'm glad to announce that we have the first commitment from MEVP to raise $100 million for the technology industry. So Walid, if you can. These numbers will make a difference. They will give a young man or a young woman an opportunity to start a business. It's not going to happen automatically. There's more work to be done. And that is exactly those 4 tracks that I will focus on. The work that this ministry started exactly 9 months ago. We started on the 10th of February, and we have launched 4 tracks, and I'd like to go talk about each one of them. The first one is laying the foundation for a 21st century digital economy, the legal, regulatory, and institutional foundation. This is the work that seems to be slow, ungrateful. It doesn't make it to the news. It's not flashy, but it is the most enduring way to build a digital economy. We have worked on about a dozen pieces of legislation. Most of them we've worked with the right counterpart, the Ministry of Justice in most cases. We mentioned the Ministry of Technology and AI law, but there's more. There's the work that was done in Parliament with the Digital Authority, which is now in the General Assembly. It went through all the committees. A draft law that had been sitting in Parliament idle since 2022, which was also mentioned in the digital strategy of 22. So those are things we've worked on. We've worked on the Special Technology Economic Zone, which is one of the most promising projects that this country will have, which is to create tax-free zones, not only for tech industries, but for tech services as well. This now is at the stage where we're putting together المراسيم التطبيقية with the Ministry of Industry, with the Ministry of Finance, and with the Ministry of Justice. المراسيم التطبيقية للمناطق التكنولوجية الحرة الخاصة. My focus has been, and it's a very personal battle, to look at privacy, and we've drafted a data privacy law with the Ministry of Justice, something that's gone through a review, not just internally, but World Bank and the European Union, as our partnership agreement with the EU requires. Let me move on to the next track. The next track is to actually build the infrastructure. The role of the Ministry of Technology and AI is limited in that way, but it's foundational. It is to develop the national digital infrastructure that links the different ministries together, that allows not only for information and data to flow, but for transactions to be conducted in a safe, reliable way. The basis of this infrastructure is a national digital ID, which the Minister of Interior has launched and is working on, and we're supporting. We have a supporting role in that. In addition, we're working on the national digital infrastructure and on the national digital payments platform. This digital payments platform is something that will link all public administrations and allow through one reliable, safe platform on which any provider can come through open APIs and provide services. Also working on a number of initiatives for international cooperation. And we have also to test things at the municipal level, working with one of the private companies, worked on installing and testing agentic AI to provide first informational services and second transactional services for 3 municipalities, Bremena, Zahli, and inshallah Beirut soon. Those three municipalities have come forward, and we're working with them to test these agentic AI solutions. Finally, on this track, building AI means nothing if you don't have the data sets to work with it. Building data sets is the basis of this new age. Every single ministry is sitting on a treasure trove of information, of data, be it about traffic. Ministry of Public Works has incredible data that they can generate. The Ministry of this or that. The Ministry of Health has an incredible database, and they already have ambitious plans for electronic health records. Once a digital ID is in place, they can offer these services seamlessly. But building the data sets has to become a national enterprise as well. What we've done is we've defined guidance for every ministry on how to build the data. And working with the Ministry of UMSAR, we will be providing a guidance on data retention and on building these data sets in the public sector. All of this, of course, is happening through these partnerships. They're dynamic, never stops. Always build a new partnership, always reach out to someone who you can work with. The third track, to many of us, seems the most important, and it is the one that allows me to respond whenever I hear naysayers, doubters who tell me, ما عندك كهرباء, ما عندك broadband, كيف فيك تعمل AI? Bottom line is, when you have the talent that Lebanon has, when you have the talent that we have as a nation, when you have the diaspora that we have, and the relationships, the friendships, the partnerships that we are forging, we have a future in AI, we have a right to play, and we even have a right to win. So what do we mean by the talent track? This track covers all ages, it covers men and women, it covers all geographies, irrespective of where you live. And the first training, national training for AI, we are planning it to be launched in Nabatiye at the Kamel Jaber Center We wanted to start in the south because it is most important to include every single part of Lebanon. It is my promise to have these national programs all over the country, just as the partnership we have with the UAE. We're launching soon Udacity, access to Udacity, where you get certificates, you get training. It is all covered. It's already free. And this is an invitation. This is something that will change the lives of thousands and thousands of Lebanese, something that all of us will look back on and realize it is a transformative moment. It's an opportunity for everyone. So finally, on the talent track, I'm very fortunate to have the Minister of Education and Higher Education who's invited us to work with them in terms of giving our input on the curriculum, on how AI has to be part of the national education agenda. That too is the contribution we've made. Our teams have been working together very closely, and I'm very grateful to that. This is planting the seeds for something that this government will not see to its fruition necessarily, but we have to do it today. The fourth and final track is about the ecosystem. We've had an ecosystem that encourages entrepreneurship and innovation, but the last maybe 20 years or so, we have been producing entrepreneurs and shipping them. Like all the talent we have, we've been exporting them. Rather than exporting the talent and entrepreneurs, our ambition is to have an ecosystem that is inviting, supportive of entrepreneurs, of innovators. You've heard me talk about the laws that have to change and the regulations, but you also need institutions, accelerators, incubators. You need mentors. You need universities to roll up their sleeves. And we are fortunate today to have 4 of the universities, AUB, LAU, Jamia al-Lebaniyya, and UZEC as partners of this. And we're working with them and others. There will be more. But the ecosystem track is also about creating an institution that supports young entrepreneurs or early stage tech. And so for the first time in 5 or 6 years, a Lebanese angel investor network has been relaunched. We had these networks up to 2019, 2020, and then they fizzled out. Today, I'm glad to announce that the Lebanese angel investor network has been established. We now have a chairman for that, Maroon Shammes. I think he's here. ما بعرف وينه, I can't see. Yeah, Maroon. And we have a board, and it's going to be powered by BNY. Abdullah and Ghaif Yafi have volunteered to provide the back office to screen early stage companies, bring them through the pipeline so that investors, angel investors, can actually invest in these companies and give a young entrepreneur an opportunity to launch their business. We've also participated in a number of international venues. And here in particular, I want to mention GITEX, but also mention that for the first time, we had a delegation of 20 companies back in May in Vivatech in Paris. 20 companies for the first time, a Lebanese pavilion, raising the Lebanese flag for technology and putting Lebanon on the map. 20 companies, some of whom you'll hear from later, Orion, Zaka, and others, they were there. But there's more. In a few months, in May 26, we will have a large event, another event bigger than this one even, but completely different structure based on innovation. We'll have the Innovation Expo, a regional event which Promo Fair will be organizing. More on that later. This will attract innovators, mentors, entrepreneurs from all over the region. All of this is the work that we've worked on, and I have to mention it would not have been possible without the support of a number of Lebanese and the companies they work for, Strategy and Accenture, Oliver Wyman, and Roland Berger. They've rolled up their sleeves and conducted workshops with 12 different ministries talking about what are the opportunities for introducing AI and technology in their services. Now, there's a lot more than the pipeline. In the pipeline, we're working on continued support for the digital ID. This is a priority, a must. Second, the deployment of the national digital infrastructure. Third is the AI judicial tool, which has been tested and will soon be piloted at the Ministry of Justice in certain specific cases using a Lebanese-trained AI agent to provide legal opinions. Fourth, continuing the municipal AI deployment, focusing on agents. And five, the Code for Lebanon initiative, which brings together universities. So we mobilize young men and women in universities to provide solutions to particular government departments. And finally, something very close to my heart, this is the fund for technology and digital transformation. This can only be funded through international public institutions. For the next 2 or 3 years, we have to assume that the Lebanese banking system will still be recovering in a recovery mode, will not be in a stage where it can fund these companies. And so if you want these companies to grow in Lebanon, you need to not just launch companies through the angel investor network, but you also need to provide early stage or Series A and B funding. And this can only happen through this fund of fund that we have designed. We put together the concept, and hopefully the Minister of Finance will be supportive, will work on funding initially from the World Bank, from the European Investment Bank, and others. This is another chance, another possibility to provide a lifeline, oxygen, possibilities for growth to scale up these businesses that have such promise. These are the projects we're working on. This is the vision. This is, you can imagine in 5 years, if you close your eyes and imagine what kind of country you want to live in, what kind of digital republic you want to have serve you. How do you measure if it's work? It's if we manage to reverse the brain drain and turn it into a brain gain. The minute a young Lebanese will have a choice, a real choice, to build their company, their future in Lebanon, that is when we would have achieved this ambition. It is about giving young Lebanese a choice to stay here, to build their future here, and reverse the brain drain. Second, I know it gets personal with me because I have young kids, as many of you do. And as I did not have a choice to stay here, and I was fortunate to have great opportunities abroad, what we want is for all Lebanese to have these opportunities in their own country. Second, we will have a connected and AI-ready government where about 80% of services are on the cloud, where services are provided seamlessly. And third, we'll have, most importantly, a vibrant, innovative ecosystem that's creating unicorns. You know, Lebanese have succeeded, and they've succeeded all over the world. And our ambition is to have this system here, this ecosystem, this environment, the government, the rules, the regulations supporting this innovative system here. All of this is an invitation to roll up your sleeves. It's a call to action, and I invite you to join us. And before I do, I would be remiss if I did not thank first the partners who helped us put this together. MEVP, thank you. IFP, Albert Aoun, I saw you there. Thank you. But most important, I want to recognize the team of volunteers who've been working. If you can stand up, I'd like to see you all, the team of volunteers from the Ministry of Technology and AI. I can recognize you. This is a team that started working in February when there was not even the promise that we would have our offices, our space, that we would have a mandate, that we would even have, all of this. I want to thank Met Nadine Shawi, Shadi Azzuddin, Jadem Naimni, ميغيل جريديش، شربي الشبير، رايسا كليموس، عبد الله، أنتوني، نور فياض، Guy, Yusuf, وينك؟ Alessandro, Shlela. Did I miss anyone? Lucine Raad. And sorry if I miss anyone. It's just I did not have the names. I thought I. Anyway, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there, for getting the work done, and for bringing us to this. The road ahead is even more interesting. Let's keep going. Thank you very much. Sorry, I forgot Yasmina. How could I? Yeah, Yasmina. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. And now, dear guests, it is an honor and a real pleasure to welcome on stage His Excellency, the President of the Council of Ministers, Mr. Nawaf Salam, in conversation with Ms. Rima Maktabi. Thank you.
دورت الضوء. يلا هات الضوء عندك.
أهلا وسهلا فيكم وشكرا كثير على الفرصة إنه نرجع على لبنان. ثانك يو دكتور كمال شحادة. أهلا وسهلا فيك دولة الرئيس وبكل الحضور يعني ما رح أذكر الجميع حفاظا على يعني ما أنسى حدا. نحن بقمة التكنولوجيا والاي اي والابتكار، وهيدي القمة دكتور كمال وفريق العمل عم يشتغلوا عليه صار لهم شهور، وكانوا كتير حابين انه يجي كتير ناس من برا من خارج لبنان ليشاركوا بهالقمة، مثل ما مؤتمرات بالدول العربية بتصير التكنولوجية وبيجي ناس من كل أقطار العالم. بس بسبب الوضع الأمني كتير ناس ما بتجي على لبنان، فبفضل فريق ويبيديا هيدي القمة نقلناها للعالم، لأنه لبنان ما بينقصوا الطرق والابتكار، إذا ما أجوا لعندهم ناس هو بيروح لعندهم. وأحد الضيوف ما رح أذكر اسمه عربي قال لي الاستثمار بده استقرار، بده استقرار سياسي واستقرار أمني. بعد امبارح التصعيد الإسرائيلي وبيان حزب الله الناري، بدي أبدأ بالأول بالتصعيد الإسرائيلي. أي مستثمر بده يجي على لبنان والجنوب مشتعل بهالطريقة والبقاع؟ ماشي
ماشي اوكي. اولا اهلا وسهلا فيك ببيناتنا بلبنان، وبنشكر الدكتور كمال على هالجهد يلي حاطه بتنظيم هذا المؤتمر، وكل الضيوف خاصه كانوا اجوا من برات لبنان. يعني بعرف انا انه في تحديات امنيه كبيره باليوم يلي كان ممكن قسم كبير ما يجي، ولكن بالرغم من هالتحديات الامنيه وبالرغم من شيء من العالم الاستقراري اللي بعده موجود بالبلد، ولكن هن اليوم بيناتنا. ليش هن بيناتنا اليوم؟ بعتقد لانه صار في تقدم كبير بالاشهر الاخيره، اما يتعلق بالاستقرار او اما يتعلق بالشعور بالامان، او ما نحن بالحكومه الجديده والتزامنا بوضع لبنان على طريق جديده. نحن بهمنا انه نخلق امل جديد عند اللبنانيين بامكانيه استعادتهم لدولتهم، بامكانيه يعني خلق فرص جديده لاولادنا خارج لبنان واولادنا بلبنان بفرص عمل جديده اللي اكيد انا معك هيدي بتطلب استقرار. وانا بعرف انه ما بيجي الاستثمار اذا ما في شعور، مش بهيك الاستقرار مش كل وقت، الاستقرار يعني شعور بالامن والامان، وهيدا مساله ايضا نحن عم نعمل عليها. بس اذا بتسمحي لي بالاول قبل ما نوصل له، يعني في بيئه تبدا اولا ب اذا بدنا نجيب بدك استثمارات، ما هيك لاطلاق العجله الاقتصاديه ولا شيء. هيدي بدك اولا مصارف، ما هيك ما بتجي الاموال بالشنط،
رح اسالك عن
الاموال
المصارف.
بتجي بدك. ونحن عملنا على مجموعه من القوانين الاصلاحيه بدءا باصلاح القطاع المصرفي. بده شعور الواحد اذا اجى لهون عمل شركه جاب انه في حال اي خلاف اي نزاع يكون في قضاء عنده ثقه في بيقدر يلجأ له. ونحن عملنا على وضع قانون لتعزيز آلية القضاء، بدي يشعر انه في اداره بتلبيه هيدي. ونحن كمان عملنا على تنشيط الاداره من خلال مجموعه من التعيينات الجديده بآلية تنافسيه شفافه، باعطاء عنصر الكفاءه حقه بهالعمليه هيدي. وطبعا فيما يتعلق بالشعور بالامن والامان يلي هو اساس الاستقرار، بالتاكيد على ضروره العمل على حصريه السلاح في يد الدوله والدوله وحدها بلبنان. سمعت انا كلامك. طبعا التصعيد الاسرائيلي خطير جدا، ونحن كنا ونستمر بالعمل على عشد كل ما ممكن ان ناتي عليه من دعم سياسي ودبلوماسي عربي ودولي لوضع حد مش بس لهالتصعيد هذا، حتى نقدر كمان ننجح نحن بتامين الانسحاب الاسرائيلي الكامل من ارضنا، بوقف العمليات العدائيه وبالافراج عن اسرانا. هيدا من جهه. من جهه ثانيه كمان هيدا ما مش حنوصل له يعني بهالطريقه. هيدا بيتطلب انه فعلا الدوله هي تستعيد قرار الحرب والسلم. سالتيني عن يعني ما صدر من بيانات امبارح، جوابي على هالبيانات اللي صدرت امبارح هو انه اليوم قرار الحرب والسلم قرار استعادته الدوله، وهذا واضح بالبيان الوزاري لحكومتنا اللي اخذت على اساسه الثقه وثقه كبيره
طيب.
من معظم القوى او التكتلات البرلمانيه.
طيب يعني كلام جميل والكل يعني صراحه اللبنانيه بالداخل وخارج لبنان اخذ نفس لما صار في انتخاب لرئيس الجمهوريه، ولما حضرتك بالبيان الوزاري عملت سلسله وعود. الوعود كانت انه خلال اشهر نزع سلاح حزب الله، قطعوا الاشهر.
شوف، اولا نحن ما عملنا وعود هيك وعود فارغه، نحن يعني اقررنا هالوعود بافعال. بركي هالافعال منا بالسرعه اللي كانت الناس متوقعتها. بس نحن عندنا مكنه جديده هون، هي هالحكومه اللي انا فخور فيها، وهي بسميها انا دائما هذه حكومه كفاءات وطنيه. ايام زمان كان في عندنا شيء يسموه حكومات وحده وطنيه والاخريه، انا بسميها حكومات شلل وطني. هيدي نحن عندنا حكومه من نوع جديد، حكومه كفاءات وطنيه. وضعنا امامنا، ونحن مستمرين بالتزامنا ونعمل على تذليلها.
طيب أنا يعني رح نحكي بموضوع الإصلاح، بس بدي أرجع أركز أكثر على الاستقرار الأمني. حكينا كثير مع مصادر ومع يعني شخصيات عربية وأجنبية وغربية بحكم يعني موقعي بالصحافة. الكل بكرر نفس الجملة: ما رح تفوت ولا ليرة على لبنان طول ما هو في سلاح خارج ايد الجيش الوطني اللبناني، كل ما هو في ميليشيات. ما حدا رح يستثمر ببلد غير مستقر امنيا. متى؟ امتى؟ هناك شعور انه لبنان مش قادر على نزع سلاح حزب الله. شو بترد كرئيس حكومة؟ قادرين ولا لا؟
ما بدي امتى حجاوبك، اكيد مش بكره ولا بعد بكره، ولكن نحن حطينا
بعد 10
بكره
سنين؟
بعد. نحن اولا اخذنا قرار واضح بالحكومه، مش بس ببين الوزاري. بين الوزاري نحن اكدنا على استعاده قرار الحرب والسلم، ذكرنا باتفاق الطائف يلي بيقول ببسط سلطه الدوله اللبنانيه على كامل اراضيها بقواها الذاتيه. اكدنا على حصريه السلاح.
ايه بس
ولكن
امبارح
هذا
حزب الله
لم يكن
بيانه
فقط.
واضح.
لا لم يكن
شو
فقط.
ردك على بيان
لم
حزب الله؟ رفض التفاوض،
لا لم يكن فقط.
نسف كل اي قرار اخذته
بس
الحكومه
ما
امبارح حزب
لا
الله.
انا ما قلت لك بس هذا نحن هيدا ببياننا الوزاري، ولكن هذا مش بس كلام. نحن هيدا ترجمناه بقرارات في الحكومه وفي خطه وضعها الجيش اللبناني لتامين حصريه السلاح، وهيدي خطه واضحه الى مراحل بدا بتنفيذها.
اي مرحله صرتوا؟
نعم.
اي مرحله؟
نحن لا نزال في المرحله الاولى، وهيدي المرحله الاولى رغم انه هيدي كان المفروض تكون خطه سريه، ولكن يعني الجميع بيعرف اليوم شو مضمون هالخطه. هيدي هي نحن في المرحله الاولى اللي هي 3 اشهر الخطه، وفيها شقين. الشق الاول هو تامين حصريه السلاح في جنوب الليطاني، ونحن تقدمنا كثيرا في
قد ايه؟ يعني مثلا
في
كم
ذلك
نسبه؟ كم نسبه؟
وفي شمال الليطاني. المرحله هيدي 3 اشهر الاولى عن وين احتواء السلاح. ماذا يعني احتواء السلاح؟ احتواء السلاح يعني منع كل اعمال نقل السلاح او استخدام السلاح شمال الليطاني. وفي شمال الليطاني للمشككين في تقدم كبير صار، يبداوا يطلعوا بالحدود اللبنانيه السوريه وضبط الحدود يلي صار، بان كان بعمليه منع تهريب السلاح او لحتى ما لا يقل خطوره منع عمليات تهريب المخدرات وفي انتشار اكبر للجيش اللبناني في حواجز اكثر بشمال الليطاني. ولكن نحن في بدايه هذا الطريق. المهم انه نحن مش بس قلنا كلام، نحن قلنا كلام ونعمل على تنفيذه. هالتنفيذ بدك تسمحي لنا ياخذ وقت. بعدين حاعطيك انا امثله ثانيه على متغير في كتار هون، يعني من خارج لبنان اجوا بعتقد من لحظه يلي بتحط فيهم الطياره بفوتوا على المطار بيشعروا بالفرق. مطار اليوم غير المطار يلي كان من 7-8 اشهر. بيظهروا من المطار بشوفوا طريق المطار يوصلهم على بيروت مختلفه عما كانت عليه. وحضرتك جيتي حديثا على بعتقد شفتي هالتغيير هيدا. ونحن نطمح لاكثر. هل مكتفيين بهالشيء؟ اكيد ما مكتفيين فيه، ونحن نطمح لاكثر بدءا من المطار للطرقات العامه.
طيب انا حتى امبارح رحت على القصر الحكومي وصار لي 29 سنه بمهنه الاعلام. اول مره بوصل بهالسلاسه على القصر الحكومي، بصف سيارتي وبطلع من دون هالقد توتر امني. الله يديمها نعمه ويزيدها. في قنوات عربيه اليوم عم تنقل هيدا الحدث ولايف ستريمينج، لانه مثل ما قلنا ما اجى الناس لعنا، نحن رح نروح لعندهم. الكل عم يسال شو ردك على بيان حزب الله امبارح؟
شوف انا رديت.
وقرب الميكروفون لو
انا
سمحت.
رديت لك على في سؤالك في
اعطيني رد مباشر.
رد المباشر. نحن قلنا قرار الحرب والسلم هيدي الحكومه استردته بايدها، وما حدا له كلام بالموضوع الحرب والسلم غير الحكومه. اوضح من هيك ما بعتقد فيما يتعلق بعلاقه لبنان بالعالم العربي. كانت علاقه سيئه ومتوترة. اجت حكومتنا عملت على ترميم العلاقات اللبنانية العربية، فخامة الرئيس زار عدد من البلدان العربية، رحت أنا على المملكة العربية السعودية، على الإمارات، على قطر، على مصر. واليوم أنا سعيد جدا بشوفة إخواننا العرب يعودون إلى لبنان، مثل ما لبنان رجع عند العالم العربي، اليوم إخواننا العرب يعودون إلى لبنان. وبعتقد حنشوف وانا متامل شوف نفس العدد اذا مش عدد اكبر من الاخوان العرب يشاركونا ب 18 19 من الشهر الحالي بمؤتمر استثماري عم نعطي ببيروت تحت عنوان بيروت 1. ما بدي اقول لك مش بتامل، انا بتامل وانا واثق انه حنشوف عدد اكبر.
طيب يعني هلا حكيت عن العلاقه مع الدول العربيه، وواضح انه في اعاده خلط اوراق بالمنطقه، في ماب جديده، خريطه جديده للموازين القوى. هل تعلن اليوم انه لبنان لم يعد تحت النفوذ الايراني؟
شوفي لبنان جزء من هالعالم
رجع على الحضن العربي؟
لبنان نعم عاد الى الحضن العربي، ولبنان بده يرجع يلعب دوره الفاعل بالعالم العربي. ما بدي ازقف يا اخوانها، مساله طبيعيه.
صار لها فتره مش طبيعيه. كمان عندي سؤال واللي الكل عم يساله، سبقتنا سوريا وحلو التنافس بالمنطقه على الاستقرار، وهناك شعور انه مكان لبنان الطبيعي على الساحه الدوليه، لكن الشعور اكثر انه سوريا اسرع رغم 12 سنه 13 سنه حرب مدمره.
شوفي نحن ما عم نتنافس مع سوريا، بالعكس
بدنا نشوفك دكتور رئيس انت ورئيس الجمهوريه بعواصم القرار. ايمتى؟ مثل ما عم نشوف في الغير.
نحن سعيدين انه سوريا اليوم عم تلاقي طريقه للاستقرار، وانا بعرف انه استقرارنا من استقرار سوريا، ونحن طوينا صفحه من الماضي مع سوريا، ونحن نطمح لبناء يعني علاقات جديده تقوم على الاحترام المتبادل وعدم التدخل في شؤون الاخرين، مثل ما نحن يعني عانينا من تدخل سوريا في الشؤون اللبنانيه. انا بعرف انه الاخوان السوريين كمان عانوا من تدخل بعض الاطراف اللبنانيين في سوريا. هيدا عهد انتهى، نحن بدنا نبني صفحه جديده مع سوريا، ونحن نعمل على ذلك. وفي انا رحت على دمشق، في اكثر من وفد سوري اتى على لبنان، اخرهم برئاسه وزير الشيباني، ونحن بهمنا اليوم تطوير هالعلاقات هذه بمختلف المجالات، من ضبط الامن لتفعيل العلاقات التجاريه والاقتصاديه بين لبنان وسوريا.
كم لاجئ سوري رجع على سوريا؟
نعم
350,000.
يعني كمان هون بعرف انه في مشككين، قلنا انه رجع لاجئين، ولكن اجى لاجئين جدد على نعم مزبوط اجى، ولكن قد رجع؟ رجع فوق 350,000 لاجئ سوري من لبنان على سوريا بالاشهر الاخيره، وقبل نهايه العام حيكون مش فقط تجاوز 400,000 هالعدد، بكون
طيب.
بعتقد انا ناهز نص مليون. رجع قد رجع حوالي 90,000 60,000 زائد 30,000، ولكن ستبقى من هلا لنهايه السنه الحصيله هي عوده اكبر، وهي ونحن هيدي العوده نعمل عليها مع وكالات الامم المتحده المتخصصه ومع السلطات السوريه. كمان في بالسابق يعني كل اداره ملف اللاجئين السوريين كان في عدد من الشوائب، اليوم ازلناها. اولا كان في مين اعتبر انه وكاله الامم المتحده هيدي عدو. نعم مش عدونا، هيدي بارتنر، شريك لنا. لا لبنان هو اليو ان اتش سي ار ولا اليو ان اتش سي ار هي لبنان، ولكن نحن شريكين، ولبنان لبنان وسوريا سوريا، ولكن بهالعمليه هيدي في مثلث هون: لبنان، سوريا، المنظمات الدوليه، ونحن نعمل معا،
ولا شك
والحمد لله حققنا نجاح ملحوظ.
ولا شك انه استقرار سوريا من استقرار لبنان والعكس صحيح. بس رئيس الشرع بيوصل على امريكا بزياره ثالثه السنه على الولايات المتحده الامريكيه، وبنحب نشوفك انت وفخامه الرئيس اكثر على الساحه الغربيه مش بس العربيه.
ان شاء الله قريبا
تاخذوا لبنان. ما بعرف اذا سلسله المطالب الغربيه على قد ما قادر لبنان تو ديليفر يعني تيسلم. حكيت عن المصارف بالشق الاخير، انا ودوله الرئيس متفقين انه التكنولوجيا والحديث عن الاي اي لاصحاب الخبرات. دكتور كمال كان اوريدي حكى بالموضوع. بالشق الاخير رح احكي عن الفساد الاداري. الرقمنه ديجيتايزيشن بتساهم ب يعني تقليص الفساد الى اقل درجاته. شو الوعود؟ متى ممكن للمواطن انه يقدر يعمل الاي سيرفيسز تبعه او خدمات الدوله بنقره زر مثل ما بيصير بالسعوديه، بالامارات، بدول يعني حولنا؟
هلا اكيد بجانب منها
لانه بده قرار سياسي مش بس
يعني
تكنولوجي.
عمليه الرقمنه وادخال التكنولوجيات الحديثه لا سيما الاي اي في الاداره العامه، هيدا بيسهل بيقضي على او بيساهم بتقليص الفساد، حتى ما نقول بيقضي، بيساهم بتقليص كبير للفساد يلي هو شو هذا الفساد بيقوم على نتيجه وجود وسطاء. هذا بيلغي او بحد كثير من الوساط، ولكن ايضا تساعد المواطن لانه بتسهل العمليات الاداريه. ومش حزيد على اللي تقدم فيه الدكتور كمال بالشرح، ولكن انا واثق من هالاثنين. يعني الفساد سيتقلص كل ما قدرنا نحن ندخل التكنولوجيا ولا سيما الاي اي، وكل ما كمان بنكون نحن عم نساهم بتسهيل طيب. عمل المواطن، وهذا شغلتنا.
امتى بتوعد؟ امتى دولة الرئيس توعدنا انه نحن لنعمل ورقه ما بدنا ندفع كثير مصاري تحت الطاوله؟ انا لاعمل باسبور من كم سنه ما تركت واسطه وبكره اطلب وسايط بس لصدر باسبور بعز الازمه. ليه مش يعني متى امتى رح تصير خدمات المواطن اسهل؟ في وقت زمني؟ وشو ناقصكم؟ تمويل؟
شوفي يعني ناقصنا عده قضايا، ولكن نحن المهم كيف عم نتعامل مع الامور اللي ناقصتنا. نحن عددهم دكتور كمال بحاجه لتعديل بعض القوانين. نحن قدمنا مشاريع فيها. نحن بحاجه لاموال رساميل تسمح بها، ونحن نعمل على حشد هالرساميل هاي، ولكن خطتنا واضحه. نحن رايحين بهالاتجاه، وانا واثق انه بالعام 2026 بنكون حققنا تقدم كبير بتسهيل عمليه المواطنين وبادخال عمليه
والهويه
الرقمنه والهويه تماما، والهويه الرقميه. وهذا وزير الداخليه امامنا هون، ويشهد بذلك انه نحن حنحقق عام 2026 وسننجح.
كمان وزارة الداخلية بعتقد عندها تجربة بايلوت بروجكت كتير ناجح اوريدي بموضوع الديجيتايزيشن. في سؤالين اخرين دهمنا الوقت. تحدثت عن المصارف. كل الموجودين بالصالة تقريبا خسروا مصريات بالمصارف. نحن منهم، اللي بالاغتراب منهم. هل يعني ولا مستثمر بيجي على بلد اذا حتى لو في استقرار امني ما فيه نظام مصرفي؟
هذا بلشنا فيه.
متى مثلا اموال المودعين مثلا
نحن بدنا اولا نظام مصرفي متعافي. في اليوم مصاريف، ولكن هذه المصاريف اليوم وضع الحالي ما عم بتقوم بدورها او بالدور مطلوب منا كمصاريف. نحن بدنا نظام مصرفي متعافي. بلا مصاريف ما فينا نحن يعني نطلق الحياة العجلة الاقتصادية مثل ما بنريد نشوفها. هذا بيتطلب عدة أمور. بيتطلب أولا إعادة رسملة هالمصارف هيدي. بيتطلب إعادة هيكلة بعضها. ونحن تقدمنا بمشروعين قانون الاصلاح المالي الاول كان له علاقه بمساله السريه المصرفيه، وان كانت هذه بركه نعمه للبنان بنهايه
نعم.
الخمسينات مطلع الستينات من القرن الماضي. اليوم صارت نقمه على لبنان. السريه المصرفيه، الحفاظ عليها مثل ما كانت، اصبحت هذه يعني ستر لعمليه تبييض الاموال وتجاره المخدرات والى اخره. الحمد لله انتهينا
نعم.
من امل، وتقدمنا نحن بمشروع ثاني له علاقه باعاده هيكله اصلاح وضع القطاع المصرفي، واقر بمجلس النواب، ونحن نعمل الان على مشروع ثالث ان شاء الله قريبا بشوف النور بالحكومه، وبنرسله على مجلس النواب، له علاقه ما يسمى الفجوه الماليه، اللي هو بده يعيد الانتظام للحياه الماليه من جهه، ومن جهه ثانيه هو المدخل حتى المودعين يقدروا يبلشوا يستعيدوا ودائعهم من المصارف، وان شاء الله قريبا نحن بننتهي منه.
كلمة أخيرة دولة الرئيس، عالم التكنولوجيا والابتكار والاي اي يحتاج لمستثمرين يمكن منهم لبنانية مش بس عرب وغربيين. أعطينا هيك كلمة أمل، لأنه عم يقطع الوقت وحاسين بلبنان أنه النافذة للبنان عم تقصر. أعطينا كلمة محفزة.
صحيح النافذة بركة عم تقصر للبنان، بس ما عند لبنان عنده من الإمكانيات، خاصة من الإمكانيات البشرية. مش أول هذا الدي ان اي اللبناني مختلف عن غيره أبدا، مثل كل جيرانه الدي ان اي البشري اللبناني. إنما عندنا شيء مميز بلبنان، هي الجامعات الحديثة في لبنان، وهي أقدم جامعات موجودة بالمنطقة. هيدي من القرن التاسع عشر. هون هيدي اللي عم تصنع يعني ما بنسميها تفوق العنصر البشري بتأهيل العنصر البشري اللبناني. طالما نحن عندنا هالبوتنسل هيدا، وطالما جامعاتنا لا تزال جامعات رائدة بالمنطقة، أنا عندي ثقة إنه هالجاب هيدا التكنولوجي نحن سريعا ممكن نردمه.
شكرا لك دولة الرئيس، شكرا للحضور، شكرا. شكرا كثير.
Dear guests.
ثانك يو. بس للصورة شكرا دولة الرئيس. دولة الرئيس رح ينسحب هلا، بس عنا بعد 10 دقائق قبل ما ناخذ بريك تاني. شكرا دولة الرئيس. Thank you very much. Thank you.